This episode of Success Through Connections is brought to you by Legacy Realty Group, North Florida. The team that treats your home, your time, and your goals as top priority. Real people, real results, real care.
Welcome back to this week's episode of Success Through Connections, and I'm your host, Zelda. Today I have a very special guest. I'm really excited to have her, and we just met maybe 2 weeks ago, but I really connected with her. So let me tell you, because we are called Success Through Connections, I'm going to tell you about my connection. So I was attending a conference. It was a women's conference a couple of weeks ago, and Paula, who was our guest, was the keynote speaker. Now, I wasn't able to make it, but boy, did I hear everybody was raving about her. So, yay. So I thought, well, darn it, I missed it. So I had the opportunity to go to a breakout session where she was the speaker and she was talking about AI and chat and all this good stuff that you all know I talk about too. So I thought, I've got to talk to Paula. So we talked, got to know each other a little bit. And I just really connected with her. What she was saying just resonated to my heart so much. So I just said, I got to have you on my podcast. So here we go. We're here.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah. So Paula has mastered the art of networking and digital marketing. I can't wait to get into it. When she speaks, because I've heard her speak, she's humorous. She tells stories. She gives great insight, and you leave really motivated after hearing Paula speak. Now, yeah, whoa. So she was born and raised in Ontario, Canada. Wow. And she goes by Princess Paula. Now, I didn't hear the story. Maybe she gave it, but I want to hear the story of Princess Paula. And also, there's a philosophy called fish that I know that you talk about. So I wanted to hear about that because I don't have a clue what that would be.
So many things, Zelda. So many things.
I know, so much, so much. So Paula, first of all, welcome to Success Through Connections.
Thank you. Thank you for the invite. Super excited. I mean, we're jumping right in, but as soon as I saw that your podcast was on connections and networking, it's one of my deepest, most heartfelt passions. So I was so excited.
Me too. So first of all, you go by Princess Paula. Tell me about the princess.
I do. And I always make sure I include this everywhere I go to speak because everyone always asks, are you a real princess? To which I jokingly say, no, but my husband might say, I think I am. And it all came about when I was doing a lot of networking, probably about 6 years ago. And I wanted to make sure that I was very memorable and that every time I was in a room that people would remember my name. So it was simply a matter of alliteration. And I would just introduce myself as Princess Paula so people wouldn't forget my name and it would be easy to remember my name. And all these years later, I now have a company, a collection of crowns. And because I wanted to really legitimize myself, last year I went ahead and bought a title. So legally, I am Lady Paula, and I am officially royalty. And hopefully I can afford Duchess or Countess in the future, but for now I'm just Lady Paula.
Who says money can't buy you a title, right?
That's right.
Good for you. Good for you. Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. That's like, my name is Zelda, and it was a rough name to grow up with, to be honest. But as I got older, I was in a grocery store line, and that's when you wrote checks. And so I was handing the cashier my check, and he goes, "Oh, your name is Zelda?" I'm like, yeah. He goes, "Oh, you're the princess." I go, "What are you talking about?"
Yes.
The Legend of Zelda, the video game.
Yes.
Which I've never played to this day. But this is not about me. This is all about...
No, but that's such a great name. I mean, honestly, with a name like Zelda, no one's going to forget your name. So that in itself is marketing gold.
That's all I needed. It's like, if it's good enough for Cher, it's good enough for me, So what is this fish philosophy thing that you've got going on here? What is
Well,
fish?
that's really fun as well. So Fish is a company that's been around for 30 years. Like they are well known across the globe. And the founder of Fish, John Christensen, is actually from the Twin Cities in Minnesota. And he started this philosophy and he goes into workplaces and it's all about culture and learning to play. And it's based off of the Pike Place fish market. So they actually reached out to me. They were looking for some more speakers to represent them. And so they brought me onto their team. So now I also get to travel with Fish and go and speak about really having fun at work, right? And so being in the workplace and making it fun. And they are just, again, they've sold over 6 billion books. I don't even know how many. They're phenomenal. So I really am excited to partner with them and be a part of their team as well.
Oh, that's exciting. So let's dive right into, I know that one of your superpowers is this digital marketing area. So I want to know what, as an entrepreneur, as a business person, what are some of the biggest marketing mistakes you see digitally that that these business owners are making today?
So good. Such a good question. And what breaks my heart, honestly, is when I see businesses spending money on things that don't make sense. Because I like to say someone's always going to come along and should all over you. They're going to say, you should do this, you should do that, you should spend money here, and you shouldn't. And so, especially in the digital space, it's how do you show up? Are you able to be found on Google? If someone sits down at their computers and tries to Google you, are you going to have a presence and be there? And even what should your footprint look like on social media? Again, too many people are walking around and they hear things or they read things or someone comes along and says, are you running Google ads? What's your SEO? And the average person is sitting here going, I don't know. What am I supposed to do? And I see people wasting and spending so much time and money on things that don't make sense. So I love to come alongside and say, okay, you definitely absolutely need to have a website and you need to have a Google business profile. A lot of people don't have a Google business profile. It's free. I'll help people do it. I'll give it to you. I'll just show you how and tell people all about it because you really need to have a presence so that if someone Googles you, you're there. And then a lot of the rest is just talking to people and finding out what is your business and where are your customers hanging out. Because let's find where your customers are and help you connect with them and not waste your time and money on places that don't make sense.
Can we go back for 1 second on the Google? So I have heard from other people, and it's happened to me in my real estate. All of a sudden, you're kicked out of Google, and to try to figure out why they kicked you off for whatever reason, and then you have to, what do you call? I'm at a loss for words all of a sudden.
You have to reinstate it or you have to
Yeah,
go in if you've been
and fight it. It's
suspended.
like
And
what the heck is that
yes.
all about? Do you know anything
Yeah, no,
about?
and you're not wrong. And it's really frustrating for people, especially when they're not comfortable in this space. So again, anytime I can help people, I will. But sometimes it's as simple as if you've gone into your Google business profile, and especially for realtors, oh my goodness, I have a heart for realtors. I have a heart for realtors. And you might go in and just change your address or change one thing. And Google decides that it doesn't like you anymore and it suspends you or it stops your thing. And now what you have to go through to try and get it reinstated, it's not as bad as it seems, but for most people, it's just such a pain because they're not
Yes,
comfortable in it. And they're
yes.
like, what do I need to do? And you're just frustrated.
Yeah. So you say,
Um,
never mind.
exactly.
That's what I
But
did. I said, never mind. I'll use other sources.
yeah, but we need to
I
get
know.
you. I will help you. So like we just need you to get you up and running because even to make sure your Google reviews are still there. And it's important. All of us look at it. All of us, I might
We
be
do.
Googling realtor near me. And we want you to pop up so that people can find you and
Yes.
give you all their money and give you
I'll
all their
go back
houses
and
to
I'll
sell.
go back and look at Google.
Again, I'm happy to help you. So
So these different platforms, there's so many of them. There's, like you said, there's Google, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, and they all have their own little whatever algorithms and things. So for that business owner, again, for the entrepreneurs that's maybe just starting, or maybe even they're well off in their careers, which ones, or how do they determine which ones will give them the best return on their investment?
So good. Again, it really depends on where your customers are spending time and hanging out. So, like being in real estate, and again, even within real estate, do you cater to first-time home buyers or are you looking towards maybe folks that are looking to downsize? Because even that is going to differentiate, right? The demographic that's spending time on Facebook is very different than who is on Instagram. And then I also think it's really important for everyone to have a presence on LinkedIn. LinkedIn for me has really risen to the top,
Yeah.
even if you're, B2B or B2C. So some of it depends on who your clientele is. I think it's important for all businesses to have a presence on, Meta, which is Instagram and Facebook. But more and more, I'm telling people, you might not want to spend a lot of your time there because are you getting business from those?
Yeah.
And if you can't really look at where your clients have come from, and if you look at them and say, oh, a whole bunch of them are finding me on Facebook, great. Then yes, you need to have a presence there. But if they're not, like especially with realtors, often it's referral and word of mouth.
Yeah.
or maybe there's a mortgage broker that you're working with all the time and they are sending you a lot of business. Kind of figuring out where is your business coming from and then let's market to where your business is
Yeah.
coming from.
Absolutely. I know for me, for podcasting and for my courses that I sell, it's not Facebook. My core comes from just what you said. It's LinkedIn. It's that business professional. And I think probably for business coaches and anybody who's in a profession, like maybe it's an attorney or someone in insurance, I would think LinkedIn has got to be the strong guy right now.
Yes.
Much as
And
you
they're
hear,
just doing more and more. It's very professional. People who are leaning into LinkedIn, I'm just watching their businesses take off and do really well. But
yeah.
I also think people need to get back to really like guerrilla marketing, so to speak. When it comes to marketing, it is the relationships. It's how are you building relationships? Are you sending out thank you cards and thank you gifts and just real kind of original marketing? Because the average person's getting burnt out on social media.
Isn't that the truth? In fact, I wrote a blog on it the other day. It's like I was on whatever I was on and scrolling, and I stopped myself. I went, what am I doing? We're just scrolling and scrolling. And it's like you go down the rabbit holes. It's like, stop it already. It's like there's so much hitting you. And gosh, if you just click on one little thing, the next thing you know, for the next 3 weeks or 3 months, you're getting bombarded with something that you just clicked for just curiosity for one little thing. It's
Yes.
just awful.
And I'm really pushing back on people. So if somebody tells me, oh, I'm getting all these views or I'm getting all these likes, and I will ask them, but how many sales, how many customers or clients are you actually getting that are telling you they found you on Instagram or Facebook?
Yes.
They're not, they're just watching you. They're being entertained by you, but that's not driving business to your door. So find something else.
Yes. So, in speaking of when you're posting online, how do you recommend people repurpose what they've posted? Maybe it's a blog or something. How do you recommend that they repurpose so that you're
So
not
good. Okay.
constantly
So
coming up
this
with
is a
something new?
really, yeah, this is a really big one for me because everyone has limited time. And
Yes.
so I'll always say, you create your one post, and I'm going against the norm here. There's going to be people out there that are going to get mad at what I'm saying, but I'll say, you take one post, put it on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and your Google business profile, all four. You take the same post and you do it all four. Now that goes against convention because technically, if you want to go viral and be really popular, you have to format differently for Instagram than you do for another one. And I'm like, don't play that game. The only people that are saying to play that game are the people that own those platforms and are trying to get your money and are trying to get you into the swirl of being hooked in them.
So you're
Don't
saying
buy.
post the same thing. You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Absolutely. And take that same post that you've created and schedule it out 4 weeks from now, the exact same post, reuse your content for two reasons. Number one, and especially for those of us of a certain age, anytime I start singing a commercial and I sing a jingle and I say, do you know this song? And they go, yeah. And I say, because commercials, we used to see the same commercials over and over again. And when the same commercial would come up, we wouldn't go, oh, there's that commercial again. Instead, we would start singing along because after seeing it on repeat, it got locked in our brains. And that's that whole memorable stuff, right? But on social media, on digital platforms, we think, oh, I need new content every day, every 24 hours. I need something new and shiny. No, you don't. Start taking your good content and reusing it. The second reason why is not everyone sees what you post. So if we have even 100 friends or 100 contacts, every time I post something online, there's maybe 10 or 15, maybe 30 people that see what I'm posting. And it's great content. The rest of my followers aren't ever seeing it. So take your content and schedule it out and just repeat your great content. Again, it has to be evergreen. So if you're having a sale or a one-time deal, obviously you're not going to repost that because it
Yes.
doesn't make sense. But
Yes.
just when you're telling people who you are, what you do, who you serve, repeat that great content because if people haven't seen it, great. If someone has seen it, great. It doesn't matter. And so just stop chasing. Like we're all chasing this carrot of something new, something flashy, great new content. What am I going to post? And it's like, stop it. Just reuse your content.
I have done that on Facebook. I haven't done it lately, but I would take things from a year ago because I thought nobody's going to remember this. And I've, just because I felt like I had to post something. But I love this idea. Thank you so much for sharing that because I would have thought, okay, I'm going to have, everybody has seen it. I got to change it. Now I'm not going to, I'm just going to, I don't have to change it for YouTube or
Good for you.
Facebook. I'm just going to just post it. And if
Yes.
somebody says I've already seen it, nobody's going to say anything.
And so what? If they've already
So
seen it,
what?
then either they're going to go, oh, I remember that. That's right. I wanted to call them and check them out. Or they're going to say, oh, yeah, I forgot. This is really good. So needs to know about that. I mean, it's okay if people see something repeated because that's how we get memory. I mean, we don't look at a billboard that we drive by and go, oh, same billboard that I saw yesterday when I was driving to work. Aren't they going to change that today? I mean,
So funny. That's true. That's so true. So let's shift gears to some networking, one of my favorite subjects. I mean, we are in the same boat, sister. We are. So, what are some top tips that you would say for making genuine connections on LinkedIn? Since we're picking on LinkedIn today, how do you make some without sounding like a cold sales pitch?
oh, so good. Well, that's, I think, the first thing. If you're trying to sell to me or sell to anyone and you just kind of reaching out to them and, dropping into their messages, trying to sell, I cannot tell you how many times people reach out to me and are trying to sell me what I do for a living. So it's clear they haven't even looked at my profile and read who I am. So, of course, do your homework, take more than 5 minutes to, reach out to somebody. But don't go in for the sell. Go in for the
Say
relationship
that
building.
again. Say that again.
Yeah. Louder for the folks in the
Do
back.
not go-
Don't go in for the sell. If you're trying to just reach out to someone because you think you can sell them your stuff, stop it. Just stop it.
Stop it.
And instead, go in for relationship building. If there's someone you're seeing and strategically you think, oh, I want to know them, we could be referral partners, then go in with a relational question. Hey, I love what you do. I love your content. I see that we are in the same area or the same field. I would just like to build connections and always come in with something you can offer and something you can give. Don't come in with an ask. It's just tacky.
And it happens so much more than relationships. I can't tell you. Well, most of us know somebody connects, so they want to connect with you on LinkedIn. And the first thing they're doing is, I can help you be better at XYZ. And I'm like, no, you can't. You don't know me.
They're reaching out with something and they want your money. I find it so offensive when someone says, oh, I'd love to connect with you and we have this great opportunity. And sometimes I will write them back and say, well, are you giving it to me for free? Or are you asking me to pay for something? Like, are you a stranger? Because we would never do that in person. I wouldn't walk up to someone and say, do you want to give me $1,000 and be featured in my magazine? Well, maybe some people would, but
Not me.
yeah, exactly.
Right, not me. So how do you maintain a relationship that you build online so it doesn't fizzle out? You make that connection, you seem to go, well, how do you maintain that?
Oh, that's so good. So a big thing is always looking for ways that I can connect others. And I see that as a real value add. So, even today with you, I already am thinking, who can I connect you with? What could I do? How could I give back besides promoting you, promoting your podcast? And so whenever I meet people, I had a Zoom earlier today already. And as I was on the Zoom, I was thinking, who can I introduce this fellow to? And I told him, I said, all right, I'm going to make a couple introductions to you. So that's always helpful because we don't have to be in person or even in the same city for me to be making introductions, promoting. If I see you post something on LinkedIn and I repost it for you, I'm going to comment on it because commenting on it helps the
Yes.
algorithms and help it get seen.
Yes.
Anytime I can tag people in a post. So there's simple things we can do that cost us no money, but really add a lot of value for people.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's like when people repost your post, make a comment, people. Don't just repost it, make a comment. So what's your advice to someone who's that introvert or that shy person? Yeah, we all know them. In fact, we are too sometimes. Well, I don't know about you, Paula, but I don't know about you.
No, to be honest, and I often talk about this in networking, that despite how outgoing and
I know.
extroverted I am, there are times where even I am nervous entering a room. It doesn't
I'm the
happen often, but it
wallflower.
does.
Yeah, there
Yes.
there are
So I
times.
really have a heart for the introverts and how terrifying it is and intimidating it can be to walk into a room full of strangers, especially if your boss has said, you need to go network, or I need to go network to build my connections. And you walk in and it's like, Okay, so first and foremost, I always talk a lot about name tags, and I'm really big about name tags, and I share my name tag gal. I have about 18 different name tags. They match whatever my outfit is. I have one for every
I've
outfit.
seen your name tags. They're awesome.
Yes. And so her name is the Blue Dahlia. I get all of my name tags on Etsy and I share her with everyone. I think having a name tag is super important because again, it makes it easier. People know who you are. You can identify them. It kind of, takes things down. It personalizes things right away. And I will sometimes even tell people to wear their name tag upside down on purpose because it will make it, someone will walk up to you and say, "Oh, your name tag's upside down." And it's an instant icebreaker. And it just kind
Yes.
of, smooths things
It's
out.
not, hey, what do you do for a living?
Oh my God. That is not
Uh,
allowed. Princess Paula does not allow anybody to say, "So tell me what you do for a living."
that's right. That is a no.
It is because it's like be creative and be original. I just don't, we're
I'm
more
going to
than
take
just what we do.
I'm going to take you up on the upside down thing. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah,
I
super
love
simple. For my introverts, I'll always say have two questions at the ready. Like, even if they're just your standard two, it could be anything from, "So, what are you doing this weekend? So, what's the biggest challenge you're facing right now in your business? What's a software or app that is your go to that you really love?" Like,
Mhm.
just have a few questions, but think outside the box. I mean, if you really want to get to know people, ask people if you could have any superpower, what would it be? Or if you were on death row, what would your last meal be? I mean, like think of really fun, creative questions. And if anyone's hearing this, they want to reach out, I have a list of 100 questions that I have a PDF. I'll just give it to anyone. I'll put it out anywhere.
That's awesome. So what do you want for your superpower?
Oh, that is so good. I know, because I don't want to fly. That's really, I would like to travel back in time. I think that would be fun. How
Okay.
about you?
Me would be, I'd like to read people's minds.
Would you? It's like, I don't know if I want to know that at times. That could be,
Right. What were you thinking?
oh, that's really good. That's really
Oh
good.
dear. Oh dear. But no, I would not want to fly. I wouldn't want to be invisible, although that could be kind of interesting. No,
Okay, that could be fun. Invisibility. Okay, that might be mine.
you're
That's really good.
invisible and I can read their mind.
Together, we'd be
We'd be
unstoppable.
unstoppable. Oh, that is so
Well,
good.
it changes the whole conversation, right? When you meet someone, instead of going, "So what do you do? And how long have you been?" I mean, ask them something fun. And
Yes,
even our brains, it makes your brain go into a different spot and you just relax a lot more.
that is so awesome. So, how can people reach you if they want to reach you, want to connect with you? How can they get in touch with you?
Send out the bat signal. No, that's really good. So you can,
Smoke, smoke. Get
yeah.
the
I
blanket.
was gonna say. Oh, guys, my website, Princess Paula. What is my website? PrincessPaulaConsulting.com. And all of my contact info is out there. My phone number, which is my number, you can just text
We'll
me.
put it in the show notes. How's that?
Perfect. Yeah. Email. And I also have a Calendly link. So if you just want to grab time on my calendar for a Zoom call, or if you're in the area and you want to grab coffee, we can do that too.
Awesome. And it could be an online coffee because, hey, we're in Florida, you're in Wisconsin, right?
Absolutely. You always have
So
to have a little beverage in hand.
that's
And
right. That's
I
right. So
love Zoom still. I mean, I prefer in person, but I love being able to connect with people all
it's
over.
awesome. It is. It's great. So, Paula, I have a signature question because we're just about out of time. And I like to ask this question to everybody because we are called Success Through Connections. Can you share a story about a time when an opportunity presented itself to you because of a relationship that you had?
Okay, so this is actually really current. 2 weeks ago, I was out and about somewhere and my phone started dinging. My phone started blowing up. And I was getting all these text messages from people that said, "Your name is being mentioned right now. Your name is being mentioned in this room." And they were sending me photos. And there was a meeting of all the chambers in the region. And I had recently gone to speak to one of the chambers, and the chamber director was in front of the room and mentioning my name and saying how I had come to speak and how great it was. And all the people in the room that knew me were texting me saying, "They're talking about you. They're talking about you right now." And because that chamber director was willing to mention my name in that room, I have at least two jobs that have speaking opportunities that have come out of that because they were willing to mention my name when I wasn't there. And that is the beauty of networking, the beauty of connections, where when you build relationships and people mention your name when you aren't in the room, it is such a beautiful thing.
That is a beautiful thing. That is a wonderful story. because that's what you want. You want them talking about you always in good ways when you're not in the room. That is an awesome connection story. Well, that is our show for today. Thank you so much, Paula, for being here. It's like, I have to have you back because this is just too awesome. And I just want our audience to remember that connections and success, well, success does not happen in isolation. It happens because of the connections that you make. So until next week, I hope you'll keep making those connections and let's connect.
When it comes to buying, selling, or managing your rental property, don't settle. Choose the professionals at Legacy Realty Group North Florida, the real estate company that gives you peace of mind.